Welcome to another episode of Chamber Chat on YourTV. I'm Jill Raycroft, CEO for the Belleville Chamber of Commerce. February was the beginning of event season for Discover Belleville, and we hosted our Family Fun Fest at Loyalist College. What an amazing turnout from the community, and now we are definitely working towards making sure the people who come to enjoy our events are going to get the experience they expect. If you haven't been following discoverbelleville.ca through our social media, please, or through our website, our stories and features are there. Check the website often to stay in touch with upcoming events and stories that we are working on all the time. We've been working on our new guide coming in early May. It'll be available here at the Log Cabin, and it'll feature all sorts of hidden gems, local lore, and our favorite recommendations. From the chamber side of things and our advocacy work, I was recently at Queen's Park. Advocacy Day is an event created by the Ontario Chamber of Commerce for chambers across Ontario. These types of events are common among industry associations, and we know that even our president for Loyalist College will be attending one on behalf of community colleges later this month. In our case, over 70 people attended from chambers across Ontario, split into 6 groups, and each assigned to 2 meetings in the afternoon. We also had the opportunity to hear from a panel of MPPs from the NDP and Liberal parties. Staff from the Ford administration, including our own MPP Todd Smith's office, joined us for a less formal meet and greet. I attended the event hosted by the United Nations Association of Canada Quinte branch that honored Karen Post as a woman of distinction. So if that's what this day is for, I'm 150% behind the concept. Finding a day and a way to acknowledge the work of women in our community is inspirational. And I suppose that's the effectiveness of taking the time to think about it, because we can say every day should be Women's Day, every day should be Mother's Day, every day should be Valentine's Day, every day should be Father's Day. There shouldn't be a special day to remind us of how important these people are in our lives. And it's why the Belleville Chamber hosts an award evening. We want to acknowledge people who go above and beyond in their role, or perhaps are simply just better than anyone could have ever expected. And maybe that's what it's all about. Designating a day motivates us to spend some time thinking about the impact of the very existence of it being a thing. Like St. Patrick's Day makes us all wish we were a little bit Irish. But hopefully it also lets us think about the deeper meaning. It's also appropriate that this episode's Share segment features another amazing woman in our community, Inspector Sheri Meeks from the Belleville Police Service, who was the recipient of our Belleville Chamber of Commerce Cornerstone Award for Citizenship in 2022. She truly brings the meaning of above and beyond the call of duty to life. And before we go to our segment on Sheri Meeks, I want to do a little bit more on the Discover Belleville piece. We're so excited about the growth that this website and more has become. So our following with social media touched a little bit on the event that we had in February. But what's happening with Discover Belleville now is it has become the space where people look for information, and we are getting a following that brings people to our events like crazy. So while we're working on that, we have a big event coming up April 1st that we're supporting downtown Belleville on. That's going to be in the district to spring into treasure hunt, scavenger hunt for the kids. So we're hoping that our combined efforts will bring a lot more people to the downtown core to enjoy that. We're also at Council, the Belleville Chamber and Discover Belleville are now supporting the city events. We have Canada Day coming up. We'll be doing the Belleville Waterfront and Multicultural Festival again in July, followed again by the Midway. So we'll have 3 big weekends in July to stay tuned for. So we hope you'll stay in touch with that. And follow us for all of that information at discoverbelleville.ca. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and see the wonderful things we have. And now, on to Sheri. Welcome to the sharing segment of Chamber Chat, and joining me now is Sheri Meeks. from the Belleville Police Service. Last year, in 2022, we recognized you with one of our Cornerstone Awards, namely for citizenship, because if anyone has gone above and beyond the call of duty, it is you. So give me a little bit of history about how you even got into policing, because that was kind of an interesting journey based on the conversation we had last year.
Yes, it's a very different journey than a lot of people take. It was not traditional in any sense. I did not come from a policing family. I don't have anybody in my family actually that is in policing.
Your everyday job is one thing, but you've done some pretty phenomenal things. So, I mean, we could talk a little bit about your advocacy for mental health care and what happens to some of more of our vulnerable people here, and the program that is now funded provincially.
Yeah, so yes, part of my service and why I was recognized is part of my job, but a lot of it has nothing to do with my job. So there's been a lot of things that I've done that I've just said, hey, I'm doing this.
You're going to connect to a solution.
I'm going to do this, and I'm going to, because I enjoy it. So all my work with the Safety Village has been partly connected to policing, but partly Kids Got Talent is just something I've done for the last, my 4 years of judging for that. Very fulfilling, but also giving back and recognizing for a fundraiser like that.
Jumping in cold water.
Yes, the polar plunge, which I'm in the process of organizing again for the 3rd year in a row. And this year is kind of, the last few years has been virtual. They've called it virtual, even though we're actually plunging in the Bay of Quinte.
Oh, I might have said yes if I could virtually say yes, I'm jumping in cold water. See
so
me?
we're gearing up for that again. So I've already been communicating for that for February 24th. We're doing we've challenged the tri-emergency services again to step up. And now I've got probation and parole interested, Loyalist College interested, all these different agencies that want to get involved. So that's really rewarding for me, especially with the Special Olympics athletes and what has gone on during COVID, trying to re-engage and get support for them because they lost a lot of that during the pandemic.
Well, and I think at that I can say thank you so much for Project Impact. And as we see the rise of homelessness and mental health and addiction issues kind of impacting communities across Ontario and across the country, hopefully this will catch on.
Yeah, hopefully. And we want more. I always want more. I met last week and said, let's expand this. And I got the slow down. Slow down. And I said, okay, but in a few years, we need to expand it. We need to have longer hours of service because right now it's 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. Let's make it 24 hours, 7 days a week. But you know what that's like? It's all about dollars and how can we get those dollars and where do those dollars come from? So it's just about putting another direction on it where we can go in the next few years. So
perfect. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.